everybody, Dan Illman, Mike here, taking a look at the DRF race of the day for Sunday, September the 22nd. It's one of two state-bred stakes races at Belmont at the Big A. Let's take a look at the field for race number 3. It's the Bertram F. Bongard Stakes, going 7/8 of a mile. These are for the boys. 7 entered. The 4 Manhattan Twist, a debut winner for Todd Pletcher, 8-5 on the morning line. Looked professional in that 6.5 for a long heat at the Spa.
Yeah, we'll see. Liked his debut well enough that he showed good speed in that race. I thought he beat a decent horse in there. The horse that was second to him had already had a start. So did some good things there. The horse on the rail is also a short price. That horse's debut was good. And then you have, I think the wild card in the race is the 5, Ortiz and Maker with Smile and Say Cheese.
Yeah, that horse was a debut winner as well and looked very good doing so, and then didn't run as well last time out on the funny side. We'll get to him in a second, but I think he might be able to pull out a good trip as we take a look at our Timeform US pace projector. The 1 and the 4 should show speed, and Timeform US projects this pace to be fast. Sacrosanct is projected to make the lead, but Sacrosanct didn't exactly break great in his debut and had to be hustled out of there to get position. I wonder if Manhattan Twist is naturally faster.
I sort of felt like that could be the case here, Dan. I guess we'll see what they do with Sacrosanct. Because I'm with you. It just didn't break that sharply in the debut. So we'll see if he cleans that up a little bit here. He's got to get 7. He's got to break from the rail this time. So those are things to be concerned about. But I wouldn't be surprised if Manny Franco has this horse on a scent.
Sacrosanct is a son of honest mischief, and he cost quite a pretty penny, about $250,000. After breaking a beat slowly in his debut, he rushed up to push the pace 3 wide, seemed to relax very kindly on the turn under a confident Franco, takes over the lead, and this is the best part of the race. Right after one crack, he extends.
Yeah, I just liked his debut overall. Getting out of the gate, less than quickly, I guess, could be a little area of concern for him. But everything he did after that, I just really liked it. He just sort of ranged up on that field on his own. He took over. You see how easily he's putting this field away at the end. This is Brad Cox is great with first-time starters. So it wasn't a huge surprise, but this horse ran really well first time out.
Oath of Omerta is still a maiden, but he's only raced once. He finished 3rd behind Buttah, who's also in this field. And I guess the good news for Oath of Omerta is he ran 7/8 of a mile that day and probably gained a lot of experience. If this pace is fast, I could see this horse taking a step forward and at least maybe crack the board at a price.
I wonder how much he's going to be able to improve here. They didn't get that aggressive with him first time out. It's not like it was a terrible performance, but it was a pretty slow race. He never really made a serious run at things in there, and then he just got tired at the end, went to his wrong lead. Certainly looked like a horse who needed a start. Not the kind of horse I'd be looking to bet back in a stakes race, however.
It was interesting that Shug McGahee debuted the 3 Pay the Juice sprinting on the turf. That's not exactly been an MO for Shug over the years. The horse ran pretty well. And then in his second start at off-turf race, Pay the Juice benefited from the debut experience. He got right up close to the pace. He turns into the stretch with the lead, and he extends in good-looking fashion.
Yeah, this is another race where Shug had him entered to run on the grass again, Dan. But he does handle the main track just fine. And he does have a very versatile pedigree. So I don't think it's that surprising that he handled the dirt. I mean, maybe he improved a little bit in here. His debut was fine on the grass. I'm not so sure that that's not where his future is going to lie, maybe at least immediately, but there's nothing wrong with this performance.
The 4 is Manhattan Twist, going out for trainer Todd Pletcher, and he was a likable debut winner and a very respectable 70 buyer speed figure at 6.5. Let's watch the stretch run of that race. Manhattan Twist showed easy speed, turns into the stretch, switches leads on cue, and he's off to the races, and he beats a nice horse, as you mentioned.
Yeah, it's the horse that he's denying here in the stretch had already had a start, and I thought ran really well on debut. So it's, a feather in Manhattan Twist cap that he was able to outrun that horse to the lead and then hold him off through the stretch. He's drifting a little bit at the end, Dan, but, nothing too major there. I just thought overall this was a really solid debut for Top Connections, and he's the morning line favorite. I won't argue with it.
Smile and Say Cheese looks like he has some ability. He's just very, very green. In his debut, he set a pretty contested pace and then tried to get out a little bit on the turn. He lost the lead. He recovered. He came back. He scored. Second time out, the funny side, he broke from the rail, and this time he got out very badly.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on in that race. It looked like Saez was pulling this horse up and easing him around the turn. And then when they turned into the stretch, he started running again. At the end of that race, I don't know, very, very odd performance. He clearly has some talent. There are things to obviously be concerned with, but let's be honest, Dan, he's probably the 3rd choice in this race, even with Irad riding. And I know the debut was on a sloppy track, but that's the fastest race any of these horses have ever run.
Now, the 6 Buttah is related to some nice horses like Chowda and Lobster, and he ran really well second time out for Gary Siaka. Let's watch Buttah's race. Pace pressing performance. Always nice to see improved speed second time out. Buttah takes over the lead. Has no problems with this group at 11-1. Something tells me this field's going to be a little bit tougher. We'll see Oath of Omerta get up for third.
Yeah, they're both exiting this race here, and it certainly benefited the winner to have a start under his belt already. This is, of course, at 7 furlongs. So that's a good thing, too. And he just wins this race very easily, then. There's really nobody running at him. He certainly took a significant step forward in his second start, but against this field, it just feels like he's got to improve again.
McDiesel completes the field. This horse has already won at a mile, an off-turf race out of the chute at Saratoga. He showed really good speed that day and some agility, opening up a big lead and just holding on at the end. They tried him in the funny side last time out, and he didn't get away, as alertly turning all the way back to 6 furlongs. I can see him pulling a trip from the outside.
Yeah, I can see him getting the right trip in here, too. The problem is I just don't think I love any of his races necessarily. I mean, when he did break his maiden in that off-turf race, you know, he showed good speed in that race to make the lead going a mile, but that was a day where the rail was super strong, and he just made the lead on the inside and barely held on in that race. His funny side was fine, but he did no significant running in there.
Before we take a look at our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time, Sunday race of the day. Bertram F. Bongard. Sacrosanct made a nice impression in his debut for Brad Cox. I'd like to see him break a little bit better, but he showed enough promise for me to give him another shot.
Me too. I liked his debut. I thought he ran really well in there. And he gave off the impression that if he doesn't make the lead in here, it's not really going to be that big a deal. So we'll see how that all works out for him. I like him. I tried to get to Smile and Say Cheese, and I just couldn't quite get there.
We'll see if he shows a little bit more professionalism third time out after being green in his first 2. 1453 for Mike, 1435 for me. Bertram F. Bongard, one of 2 New York bred stakes races scheduled at Belmont at the Big A on Sunday. Good luck.
Hey friends, you look like you're in need of a winner. If you enjoyed the great content right here, just click and subscribe right here and enjoy the great DRF.com race of the days, the phenomenal stakes previews, and so much more. Many of that content featuring me and my exceptional selections. Trust me, you won't regret it.